Peace and love, y'all. It's your girl, the Vibe Priestess, tapping back in with y'all with more messages from Spirit. Just a little tarot wisdom with the Vibe Priestess, and you already know we are going to clear this space and clear this reading. So, to the Most High God, Spirit, Universe, Ancestors, Spirit Guides of Divine White Light, thank you so much for your divine protection over this space and over this reading. Thank you so much for your protection and repelling any low vibrational demon, deity, entity, black magic, evil eye, hexes, hoodoo, voodoo, or curses, and so mote it be. I say, y'all, I know this is not going to be a popular topic, okay, because you know the traditional things that we do in our culture, people have adopted it and they have it so far embedded into their way of being that people don't want to look and just even process it, right? This is just to evoke thoughts, right? To evoke thinking and processing, like, are we really practicing healthy behaviors by participating in these traditions, right? Hey, Brooklyn Chic 718, thank you so much for joining the live, love. But yeah, it's like we want to just bring you, like I said, thought-evoking, thought-provoking topics, right? So we can process what we're doing, because the reality is that our most pivotal time in our lives is when we are children, when we have our innocence, our purity, okay? When we have not been tainted by the ways of the world, okay? And when we're children, this is the way that the system has infiltrated the homes and everything, because it's like the government only has so much control, right? They control us through the mindset, through the tradition, through the politics, through the systematic ways that have been set up around us, right? So it's like that is how they get to each individual household, is how they have conditioned us to believe in a tradition or a way of being that really supports their continued systematic oppression. Hey, cousin, welcome to the live. I miss and I love you. So yeah, it's just like you want to think about the way that they have programmed us with certain traditions, and does it really affect our children? Does it really affect, and it really does, because you think about the development of the minds of our children, and you know how they say, like, you get the minds of the child before they're like 7, and you have them the rest of your life. Thank you so much, cousin. So yeah, it's like at the end of the day, you see what I'm saying? It is so frustrating, right, for us, or just to like have this level of awareness and we kind of just laugh it off like it's nothing because of tradition, because we've been embedded, right? It's like that's why they try to come along and infiltrate us while we're children, while we're kids. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like now it's embedded in us, okay? There's nothing that we can do. Hey, Kisses Aesthetics. Hey, Joe Feel Who and Hattie Bless 13. Thank you so much for joining the live, love. Joe Feel Who said, God bless you all and everyone in this live, even momentarily, to the maximum amount that he may be able to whenever you see this, in that moment and forevermore, with an abundance of goodness. I receive it, baby. Thank you so much for that, Joe Feel Who. Hey, Strashantis, Tanise, thank you so much for joining the live, love. So yes, y'all, disclaimer, I'm not here to put down anybody in their parenting skills. I'm not here to talk down on anybody in their religious beliefs. This is not where I just want to get people to think about the processes that we embrace before we're even able to be old enough to know, like, the reality of how these things are affecting us, right? We just get born into a world where now we're starting to embody these specific traditions, and it's like, is it really benefiting us to be lied to that young, right? And be lied to about the most stupid shit anyway. It's like, and then it's like, we as kids, it's like a part of us knows that it's a lie, and then it's like cognitive dissonance being created within us for at a young age, where we have to be conflicted about what we're being told versus what we're experiencing. Okay, so that in itself can cause us to just negate, right, the idea of truth and lies, right? That is why we're so susceptible to lies now, and we accept the blatant lies, right? Because we have been embedded at a very young age to accept the dumbest shit as the truth. Just because somebody of some sort of superiority told you that it was the truth, right? Jofiel Who says, absolutely. They sow seeds of doubt and disbelief in our minds. And when we are children, and they foster into strongholds as we age and develop mentally and spiritually. Big facts, okay? This is the point that I'm bringing, is that our minds are so, they haven't matured yet. So everything that we're being susceptible to at that young age, right? It's kind of, our subliminal is more embodying it than even our subconscious or our conscious mind. Okay, so then it's like we start to carry this along in our lives, and we have embodied this idea that, okay, now we don't have to always lead with the truth. You know, if I, you know, if for whatever reason I'm the authority figure in the circumstance, I can lie if it works to my benefit. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of mindsets that this in particular programming probably creates within us. You see what I'm saying? Jofiel Who said, you're preaching the gospel, sister. Thank you. No, thank you. And I appreciate you adding on to the wisdom. Jofiel Who said, a child listens even to music that plays in the background. This was in a movie as well, and is proven because plants even respond to music. Big facts. Jofiel Who said, listening to G music and stuff like that while you have a child, and you is actually brainwashing them to come out with tendencies prone to desire violence and gangbanging. Big facts. This is the point that I'm bringing, and I'm so glad that people are seeing these effects and actually have an open mind enough to maybe reevaluate, because I know how close to heart things of tradition are. I know how close to heart religious belief is and everything, and I'm never wanting to offend anybody, but I'm, like I said, I want to provoke thinking because it's like, why in this day and age, right, do we be so prone to accepting manipulation, deception, this narcissistic world that we live in? It's like we have been conditioned, and that's what I truly believe it really comes from, them wanting to get us prone to accepting narcissism. And so they started at a very young age where we're being lied to and manipulated, and so we can't sense our own intuitive guidance within us. You know, it's like now we're conflicted, so now we're off balance, and we can't even follow our own intuitive guidance, because now we struggle with fucking cognitive dissonance because we weren't growing up with the development and being led by the truth. We were actually conditioned to believe that lies are okay, and that, you know, we need to accept the lies if for whatever reason, you know, if everybody else accepts the lie, then we should too, type of deal. Like, it's okay to accept the lie if it's to fit in with the status quo type deal. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Javon from the zoo, thank you so much for joining the live, love. Jofiel Who said, and that's why our children are born with subconscious desires to commit sin, and they naturally have generational curses where they want to be alcoholics, or they want to do drugs, or want to be violent. Right. Exactly, y'all. And so I'm going to go deep into the origin, right, in the history, because here's another thing too, is that when we think about Christianity and we think about these holidays, those same people will look down on somebody who is, you know, quote unquote, tapped into spirit, or whatever they want to call it, whether they want to call it witchcraft or paganism and all of these things. And little do they know that all of these holidays are just pagan rituals. Okay, so it's like, what I'm trying to do is bring everybody to the same form of understanding and awareness when it comes to religion, because here's the problem. We're always conflicted and always going back and forth on to like what we should believe in religion, when if we all came to the common ground to understand that, you know what, every religion, right, has level of truth, it has level of deception, and it's like it's our spirit that navigates and guides us through this Akashic records, or this higher knowledge and things like that, right? And as long as we can come to this place where we can not just have our minds so blocked by religion because we're in fear of going to hell, or we're in fear by whatever religious fear that they placed on you to keep you in line with your thinking, right? But if we break out of this mechanism of this deception that they placed over us, and to accept their deception, then we will actually see that we are all really on the same playing field, just trying to understand the truth, really trying to get tapped in with the Most High. And so it's like there's no need for us to have this low vibrational negative energy towards each other. If we can all come together and pass on information and knowledge and wisdom, so we can all come to this common ground and understanding, right, things will be easier amongst the people, because we're all in support of each other. We're not, you know, casting judgment on people because they don't fully know. It's like, no, we're all coming to this place where we want to have this level of understanding and awareness about, you know what I'm saying, something greater than what we've been told. Jofio, who said, think about how peaceful it is to hear anyone chanting or humming. It's basic science as well as divine truth. Depending whether you have faith or not, it's explained both ways rationally. Big facts. Yes. Thank you so much, Jofio, who, for your wisdom. Okay. So yes, y'all. Pagan rituals commonly focus on honoring a deity or deities, okay? Observing natural cycles such as seasonal changes, such as the solstices, the waxing and waning of the moon, or celebrating rites of passages such as birth, transitioning into adulthood, marriage, and death, right? Okay, so we celebrate birthdays, we have, you know, weddings, we celebrate marriage, like all of these things that have quote unquote been considered Christianity, right, has all been adopted from this pagan, the origin, right, came from this pagan religion, right, that goes back to ancient Roman times, okay? So the pagan symbols are the pentacle, which represents the interconnectedness of all elements, earth, water, fire, and spirit. And as you can see, right, like with the tarot, right, the tarot, even the tarot talks about the elements and talks about the earth cycles and all of these things and how they apply to us. It's like the microcosm to the macrocosm and things like that. So it's like, if we start to identify and see that, okay, Christianity is borderline, they've taken roots from paganism, right? There's some positivity that comes from being able to be tapped in with the natural cycles of the earth, because that is, God created the elements and the earth and everything like that. So when we're tapped into that, it's like combining, right, their traditions a little bit. Hey, Philly, Barbara in Houston, welcome to the live, love. Jofio, who said you started it, so if you were the first domino and now we're just playing ping pong back and forth with gospel and wisdom. Big facts. Yes, I love it. So yes, y'all, and the Ankh is another pagan symbol that originated from Egypt, right? And the Ankh symbolizes life and immortality. Okay, so you know what I'm saying, when you look at these different things and we compare Christianity to other religions, right, it's always the Christian, for some reason it's just always the Christians though that like are the most judgmental, or like they want to shut things down with this negative energy instead of being, you know, like Jesus and kind of being more open to the dialogue and wanting to get people to truly understand instead of casting judgment on them is like, oh, you going to hell and da-da, you know what I'm saying? That's like, come on now, that's very ignorant, I feel like. And if you are somebody of God, shouldn't be the way that you approach trying to empower others about God. You see what I'm saying? Joe Phil who says it's because there's so many different denominations of Christianity. Their household is divided the same as everyone else's, right? Okay, and this is the point. It's like we have to eliminate the division, okay? Because divide and conquer has always been the way, you know, of oppression and keeping everybody under a level of control. You see what I'm saying? The Christians can't even get all their Christian ducks in a row yet. So, of course, they have hostilities towards other religions even more so. It's internalized anger, honestly. Right! That's exactly what it is, because it's like they really haven't did the discovery of going within to self and understanding who they are, understanding the full understanding of the spiritual realm. And we understand that we're not ever going to understand the full capability or the full aspect of the spiritual realm if we're only looking at it one-sided from one religion, right? You have to open up the wisdom to every religion to really get the full gist, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like whatever the truth is about religion, they kind of hide it, and it's like you have to decode and tap into that to really understand what these scripture, you know, these different things, what they mean and how they resonate with reality and what we're really experiencing in the day-to-day, right? So Christmas and New Year's are just two of the many holidays that have been celebrated for the past 2,000 years, originating all the way back to ancient Rome, okay? But these holidays have been rebranded time and time again, okay? And reinventing the name, but maintaining the same festivities, rituals, and traditions, right? So this is my point in bringing this up today, is because I want us to realize that religion is a form of mind control. It's conditioning. These people all of a sudden had to shift from one religion to another, and it was not by choice, okay? It was enforced on them to believe something, right? But prior to that, they were believing in multiple deities. They believed in goddesses, gods. They believed in, like I said, they more focused on the earth cycles, and you know how they talk about our ancestors and how they followed the stars to guide them and things like that, right? This was way before, you know, religious times. This is like 270 AD, 380 AD. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is when these times were had. So before Christianity was even fucking created, okay? So let's see. Joe Phil who said, maybe they fear that if they tell people that it's a spell, that it could be broken. But God's work can never be undone or broken, for God's will is always done and works out in the end. And definitely, okay? Joe who says, Jesus quite literally was and is magic, okay? Turning water to wine, please, okay? But it's the magic of the one true God who is all-knowing, omnipotent, and the God above any other God or deity. All praise due to the Most High. It's the big G for me. I always say that. It's like, yes, there's deities. There's God's, little g gods, but then the Most High, the creator of all, that is who we giving all our glory to, okay? Amen and hallelujah. Big facts. Hey, Bree Love 28, thank you so much for joining the live, love. My day is going well, and I hope yours is well too. Are you at work again, girl? You got your headphones on, because like I said, I know I'll be projecting a little bit. But yes, y'all, let's see. So yes, y'all, Christmas and New Year's go way. Christmas and New Year's is just been a rebranded holiday that come back from ancient Rome, okay? And it is a pagan. It has pagan background, okay? In 380 AD, paganism was outlawed and Christianity became the one and only official religion of the Roman Empire, okay? The church decided to replace the most important pagan festivities with new Christian holidays, okay, on the same dates. They're on the same dates, right? So December the 25th, right? That was the established date, right? But that before it was Christmas, it was the festival of the sun god, okay? And you know, when we always talk about ancient Egypt, right? And we talk about, you know, the pharaohs, and we talk about Isis and Nefertiti, and, you know, all of these deities that were, you know, are these gods or goddesses or, you know, things like that. During that time, that like the sun god, right? The Ra, right? Ra and Thor and all of that, right? So this is what they were celebrating back then, right? But then they put a spin on it. They flipped it. They said, "Oh no, okay, now we're gonna change this to Christmas." Hey, good as Trini, thank you so much for joining the live, love. So yeah, the original holiday represented the sun winning its battle against the darkness and the daylight hours slowly increasing. So y'all know how when we shift the time, whether we go from winter solstice or the summer solstice or whatever, and like you'll have that daylight saving time, the time goes back, you know, things like that, right? So this is what they're referencing, okay? So but they were basing their rituals and stuff like that around these cycles and stuff. So this is how we've adopted these things into our everyday. But these are the same things Christians will frown upon and say you're a witch or you're the devil or you're this or that. Low key, they just don't have the proper information. They don't even understand that they are practicing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just embedded in Christianity, okay? Hey, Kim C, thank you so much for joining the live, love. So yeah, the original holiday. Okay, I already read that. Subliminal effects of lying to children. Okay, so this is where I was getting at with all of this, right? Because it's like religion has had us adopt a holiday that is like Christianity had us adopt a holiday that is more tied into paganism. And this Christmas holiday, right? This Christmas holiday, we've embedded this. It's like Christmas is never about Jesus or nothing like that. Like when I go to people's houses, it's always about Santa. Like they got their Santa Claus stuff set up. Like I don't be seeing no baby Jesuses. I don't be seeing no, you know what I'm saying, stuff that's tied into Christmas. And even then, and so we know that Jesus' birthday wasn't even on December the 25th. So, I mean, I understand why, but it's like, we allowed that narrative to go so long. So when are we going to correct the narrative that this is not true and update it in our minds so we're not struggling with cognitive dissonance and having multiple belief systems that counteract each other? You see what I'm saying? Let's get our thought process and our belief systems in alignment to one accord so it makes sense, so we're not conflicted within about our belief systems. Like this is what happens, and then we're out here being conflicting with other people and they be knowing what the fuck they talking about. They've done their research, baby. You just haven't, or they haven't. You see what I'm saying? Those people who blindly believe in religion without really doing the due diligence to understand it, you know what I'm saying, and things like that, right? So yes, y'all. So this is what I'm talking about. Christmas, we've adopted this. Like I wanted to talk about the elf on the shelf. You see what I'm saying? Like there's the elf on the shelf. You got the Santa Claus and the elves and, you know, all of that. Then you got the deers, the Santa's reindeers. Okay. Then you got, you know, all these different things, right? Where you have to write a note to Santa, and if they send you coal and, you know, all these different things, right? That we've embedded this whole belief system into our children. And it's like we get to an age, we've all been to the age where we realize that Santa isn't real. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is that turning point of like, why did you guys lie to me this whole time? My whole life I believed in Santa, and I believed that this is what was going on until I grew out of it. But nobody's ever, you know, able to really make it make sense to why you had to endure that. And people, I don't see how it's not traumatic, or people don't view it as traumatic to be deceived and to have your whole belief system and your whole like aspect of how you view things to just be stripped away from you all of a sudden, and now you have this whole new belief system. Is that not traumatic? You know what I'm saying? I just think that we learn how to just brush the shit off, because it's like, well, what else do you do after you find out your parents and people that you love the most been lying to you this whole time? And of course people are going to say, oh, they're kids, you know, it's to help their imagination and, you know, what. Okay, can you come up with a better reason to lie to your kids and to embed a false way of thinking so that can affect their own guidance system and their own faith and strength and what they know to be true? You see what I'm saying? It's like we've always been, even like, outside of Christmas, right? The aliens, right? Now everything on TikTok, all the aliens are real now. Oh, you see them flying out, like now all of a sudden everybody before this time who've experienced an alien encounter, right? They probably locked away somewhere in some fucking crazy home because everybody else discredited that what they knew that they seen. Nobody wanted to believe them because they rather believe in the narrative, in the status quo of where everybody else saying versus their own truth, their own, what their eyes seen with in their own experience. And they let somebody else's truth negate what they know is true. You see what I'm saying? Hey, JoJo the Celebrity, thank you so much for joining the live, love. Jofiel Who says, bothers me so much they would lie to their children about Santa Claus and then wonder why their children don't trust them. Right. It's like trust comes with truth. If you don't apply truth, then of course we're going to be in a world full of people who don't trust nobody. And it's like, oh, it's a cold world. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Now you out here just being distrustful your damn self because you feel like, well, shit, if you can't beat them, join them. Everybody out here distrustful. So why should I not be? You know, and then people just join the bandwagon. Hey, Genesis L, thank you so much for joining the live, love. So yes, y'all, and these actually do have effects on us psychologically. And it's like, it's scientifically proven. So everybody who has a rebuttal about, oh, we're just filtering your imagination and whatever the normal rebuttal is for you lying to your kids. You see what I'm saying? Then, it's actually scientific proof that show that this is trauma to children, right? So here are some of the subliminal effects of lying to children, okay? It erodes their trust in adults, okay? And it promotes a decreased value for honesty, okay? It encourages them to imitate lying behavior. It leads to increased anxiety or confusion as they struggle to understand inconsistencies between what they are told versus what they experience, right? It's like, it picks up modeling behavior. So it's like your kids will mirror your behavior. So if you're lying, like I just seen this TikTok video the other day, and this little girl, she was so cute. And basically she kept bringing her mama money and was like, she had like $400 in her hand. And she's like, where are you getting this money from? And she's like, shh, I got it from daddy. And she kept going and finding like little money and bringing it to her mom. And her mom was like, well, where did you find this at? And she's like, under my bed, but you could tell that she's lying, you know what I'm saying? And it's like her mom is laughing about it and everything like that. So it's like, if you're not correcting your children in the moment of something, like that is you basically encouraging that behavior. That's you saying, oh, now your fucking daughter's probably going to grow up and be a fucking klepto. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, because you encouraged that behavior. You laughed at it. You thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't correct her and say, baby, that you can't steal. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell your daddy that, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, it was cute, because kids are innocent. But I don't know if it was cute for the mom, you know what I'm saying? To just continue to just encourage that behavior, because now when her daughter grows up and she's in a situation and having an issue with this, that mom is going to try to scold her about it as if she did something wrong. But when she was a kid, you didn't correct that. And that's the thing. When we're children is when we endure the most and embody the like values and principles of life. Okay. So yes, it would distort the perception of their reality. There's erosion of trust. Okay. There's a negative impact of moral development. Okay. And it ruins the potential of being like a righteous, trustworthy person. Okay. It can affect that. And what else? Okay. Children who are frequently lied to by their parents may learn to distrust adults and become more likely to lie themselves, potentially eroding their sense of integrity. Okay. When children witness their parents lying, they may internalize this behavior as acceptable, potentially hindering their development or development of a strong moral compass and understanding of ethical conduct, right? And this is what I'm saying. People don't have ethical conduct anymore, okay? So this is just pure, this is giving me real-time example of why motherfuckers don't value morals, don't value being trustworthy people. You know what I'm saying? They more look down on you. And like I said, if you're a good person, you tend to be manipulated, used, and disliked because you are a righteous person, because you're a truthful person, because you're trustworthy, because it makes them question themselves because they're like, damn, I didn't even know these type of people exist. And I chose the wrong path my whole life because I thought I was surrounded by people who I didn't think a righteous person existed in this world. You see what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. It goes back to our programming as children. And when we're children, our minds are fragile. We come up with a perception in our mind, and if it's not corrected, it's a very immature way of believing in something because we didn't get the full understanding and aspect of it, and then we just carry that along with us along our lives until maybe we read a book, maybe we decide that we want to look further into something for healing, and then we discover the truth. You see what I'm saying? Then we discover how to negate those things that have affected us because of, you know what I'm saying, the lack of understanding that truth is important, right? The truth is important. I don't understand why a Christian religion that's about God would encourage lies, would encourage, like, isn't that a sin in the Christian religion? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like all of this cognitive dissonance. I need people to get their shit together, tap in, and make shit make sense. Get the thoughts into the alignments, okay? Because it's like people are going to the extreme most to deceive others. And it's like it starts off innocent and pure, right? Through religion, through holidays and stuff. But then it turns into narcissism as adults. Like you grow up and then now you're a fucking liar. And now you're just like, you've learned that lying is necessary depending on the circumstances and situations and everything like that. So that's why you get around a lot of people who are liars, deceivers, manipulators, because they have been subliminally programmed that is okay, right? Through religion. Right? If it's coming through religion, you're going to think, oh, well, God said it's okay to lie sometimes if it's our benefit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and like I said, a lie, when we talk about white lies, first of all, I don't agree with no kind of lie, right? But I also feel like if somebody is coming to me and, you know, let's say maybe they're not carrying themselves the best way, you know, fashionably, but, you know, they ain't really got no money to get nothing else, and they asking you, like, how they look or something, and you tell them, you look good, you know what I'm saying, you're fine. And that could be the truth, because it's like, I'm not judging you to say like, you are who you are, you're standing, you're coming as you are, so you're fine, and that's the truth, right? But if I say, you know, that, oh my gosh, you're extremely beautiful, you know what I'm saying, and I know that you're asking me because you might be about to go somewhere where other people gonna be placing judgment too. Well, how is that helpful for me to lie and tell you look super beautiful when you might look a mess? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like, but I'm talking about when you are intentionally being deceptive to, you know, go against other people's free will or to kind of manipulate them in one direction or another for your benefit. And, you know, it may not even benefit theirs. Hey, Trisha Off Duty and Mike E. Dollars. Thank you so much for joining the live, love. So yes, y'all, let's go ahead and tap into what Spirit has for us. And that was all I really had about that. I just wanted, like I said, I just like to provoke thinking about stuff, because I feel like I notice how people be in so much in denial about things, because you know, when people are so used to operating and functioning a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to transform into something better or different, or like, or when it comes to like a way of thinking, especially if somehow that way of thinking has been benefiting you as well, you know, you may not want to shift that way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Joe Phil Who says it happens to be if you're lying with malicious intent or genuine intention to avoid a fight and confrontation. Right, exactly. Hey, Morris Jamar. Telling somebody they look good when they might not isn't really that bad unless you know it's something drastic that needs to be addressed, like a drug habit. Right, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's up to us when we know our intention too, right? It has a lot to do with our intention, because it's like, if you know that their truth is that, okay, they don't really look that good to me, and that they're asking me my intention, but I can also look at it like, well, they probably look good, you know what I'm saying? They look good, as good as they can look. Shit. So yeah, like, you look good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just, to me, it's all about your intention when you are directing somebody. And like I said, I'm talking about being deceptive and lying. I'm not talking about like little white lies or anything like that. Even though I'd rather even be honest as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? I would more be like, you know what? Don't worry about what people think about you. Instead of me giving an answer, I would say, don't worry about what people think about you. You need to come as you are and be truly yourself and your authenticity. And when you lead with who you are in spirit and your heart, it won't even matter what you look like on the outside. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, it's all about, you can spin and you can tell somebody the truth without hurting their feelings either, and without being rude. So it's just like, lies just do not need to be a thing these days. Like, let's just walk in our truth. You see what I'm saying? And my thing is, if you ask me, you must have thick enough skin to receive my truth. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's go down. Or the example of not telling your children exactly how children are made, but you tell them that mommy and daddy did a special act and prayed to God a certain way, and that's how children are born. Because logically, if your child just keeps going, but how are we made? What do mommy and daddy do? What do you guys have to do together alone in a room to make a child? You might not want to tell them, right? Until they're more mature, or at a later date, or perhaps not in a public place. But see, and that was something that I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like it's the adults that pervert the idea of sex. It's our minds that pervert what sex is, right? As a child, as a very innocent, pure child, right? How you introduce sex to them and what it is and everything like that, you can find a way to express that truthfully, right? There is a way for you to do that. And like I said, I think it's us that have perverted what sex is, you know what I'm saying? That energy exchange and everything like that. And so it makes us feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about this. But that's really our own perception in the way that we've been conditioned by society to believe that sex is something negative, that it, you know, because it's been perverted, because they've created this whole industry of porn, and, you know, they've over-sexualized things and made it, and they've degraded it, right? But in the most highest form of what sex is, if we had that belief system and what that was, and we led with that, it wouldn't be so hard to fucking communicate the truth about what the fuck it is, okay? So let me see. Perhaps not in a public place, depending on when and where. I'm sorry, hold on one sec, because I'm trying to find the last thing you said so I don't skip over. Because logically, if your child just keeps going, Okay, until they're more mature or at a later date, or perhaps, I said that already. That could be the lie of omission, because you know how children are born, but you don't want to tell your children the truth about how they are born or in full detail. So you're admitting the details. Further proof that we all do sin, no matter how hard we try not that we sin every day. Exactly. You can express it truthfully, but without having disgusting comments about the actions involved or what fetishes and things you like. None of those even need be included. But instead, we just want to put it down to science or use curse words to explain it. Like, well, you put this in there and do that until this happens, ruining all the magic our children should discover. Exactly. And we've ruined the magic for our damn selves to fucking discover, because it's like they've lied to us about what sex is. And that's why we continue perpetuate the lies and pass them down to our children, and then be acting all confused like we don't know how to communicate or convey that what the fuck is really going on with the shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, y'all, it's just like we gotta learn how to just be, you know, when we're honest with ourselves, it's easier for us to be honest about the world and honest about, you know, honest to the people that we interact with on a regular basis. Yeah, so let's see what Spirit has for us. Yes, y'all. So with the Chariot, this is big motion, baby. Like, or this is like preparation. This could be you in a preparation moment, because you got a lot of blessings coming in. You got a lot of motion coming in, because you have been in this place where you've been really focused on your journey, career oriented, goal driven, values, moral compass guiding you along the way. Okay, so this is also you having a level of balancing the dark and the light within. So it's like with you being able to have gone through the darkness, the light, for you to have this level of balance, you being guided by the Most High in your journey. Okay, this is what is allowing these things to pick up as far as like your pace, right? The pace is picking up in your progression, okay? And the Knight of Pentacles is Capricorn, Taurus, and a Virgo as well. So you could very well be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, okay? High Priestess, like I said, intuitive, letting your intuition guide you through things, challenges, situations, okay? This is what I'm talking about. This allows you to see through the bullshit, right? This is just what I'm saying. It's like when we allow ourselves to be guided by a moral compass, like we said, how religion kind of steals that away from us, or how we perpetuate this tradition onto our children and we adopt these ways. It strips away our intuition. It strips away allowing us to see clearly about which direction we should be headed. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like we can't trust the truth, or we can't trust, we can't tell the difference between the deception and the truth. Yeah, baby. But with the Empress, oh my gosh, the Empress and the High Priestess out here too. So this is all about being this fertile energy, knowing the power that you hold too. So this is like, this allows you to not allow the limiting beliefs of others or limitations of others, right, stop you or slow your progress down. Okay, it's like you are in this place of, your divine ability, your creativity. You know exactly how to manifest and create your reality. You see what I'm saying? So here, let me put you out there, because I'm about to be interrupting me, bro. Trying to read. Okay, there you go. So yes, y'all, it's like at the end of the day, we get into this space where it's like when we know who we are, we know our power when it comes to what we can create. And this is also about just having this very nurturing, mothering energy. Okay, so it's like you may have mothered yourself, nurtured yourself, okay, to this place where now you are able to navigate so clearly, because you did go within and you went through those processes to correct that cognitive dissonance, or that intuitive nudge, right? Because sometimes we struggle with intuition is because we struggle with like, okay, is that my logic? Is that my spirit? Is that my heart? Like, what is guiding me to this? You see what I'm saying? So it's like you corrected whatever that was, and now your intuition is speaking so much clearly to you these days. Okay, let me see. You say, and because then when two pieces of our spirit do come together, we actually can develop new life inside the mother, and she grows it inside her, crafting it so daily over the course of months. And that's why it is so important on how well you treat your wife. Imagine screaming or being rude to your wife while the child you're going to raise is growing inside her, listening to how you treat her. Facts. This is why you are truly supposed to cater to your wife as much as possible while she's pregnant, because the child inside is technically observing you the whole entire time through her eyes. Oh, that's deep. Literally everything you do to her or that child, the child witnesses and just might not remember when it's born, but subconsciously it does know how you treated its mother always. Big facts. Please read those last few comments in there for you and the other mothers and sisters out here. Appreciate that wisdom, Joe Feel Who. That is so true. Hey, Sharon Lubick 76. Thank you so much for joining the live, love. But yes, y'all, this is like dropping the weight of the burdens that you carried when you didn't know what your intuition and how it was guiding you. When you didn't realize your ability to be so fertile and to create the reality around you. And when you realize, right, that this aspect, right, that you adopted when it came to like this religious belief, okay, when you recognize that you had the direct connection to source is what really gave you this ability to be so fertile, this ability to be in a space where you're ready to take off and be on this mission that God has you on, because you were willing to lay down the burdens that you picked up from like this is like the journey of the values and the moral foundation and the grounding, all of the religious aspects that you embodied growing up through life, right? Your experience, this is you laying those burdens down and having a better understanding of those things, okay? Love the readings too. Jesus uses tarot cards occasionally. Right. For God, the Holy Spirit works through each of us, period. It can work through those who do tarot cards readings as well. Facts. It is a way to prophesize the future. Many would not accept it, but it's nonetheless true. Yes, I try to tell people that all the time. These are just tools, and you're the vessel, right? We are the vessel. So if God is flowing through me, baby, then, and you got people that have a lot of dark entities flowing through them, and they could also use these cards, and it's going to work for the opposing force. You see what I'm saying? But yeah. But, we illuminate the truth and we illuminate the light over here. Okay. So that's all that's really about. You see what I'm saying? It's like we get into this space where now that we have this direct connection to source and we laying all the burdens down of what we thought was our truth prior, until we realized, right, that God gave us the ability to have the direct connection to him. And through that, he empowers us to make us these fertile, creative beings that create life just like he did, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, boom, this is that awareness. This is that light that we all have within us, okay? That keeps us inspired, keeps us pushing, keep us motivated. But this is also the light that you are. When you go out into the world and you inspire, you empower people, and you ain't got to do shit. Just you being in the room, people will see your glow and be like, oh my gosh, like, what is she? It's like people be inquisitive about your energy just because you got this glow on you that people can't understand. They like, what does she got going on? Right? That's why you just have to have your discernment and be wise, and your knowledge and scripture and of the gospel. Everyone has their own level of discernment and can easily tell when the enemy is speaking. Big facts. And that's what this is all about, is like giving the power back to the people when it comes to the connection to the Most High, right? We always think that we got to go to some third party source to get connected to the Most High, and that's where we've been led astray, okay? Facts, okay? So yes, y'all. So yeah, it's like when we have this understanding of what works, this is like, then we allow ourselves to allow the Most High to come in and to take us out of these murky waters of like confusion, of, you know, and murky water, super deep water is dark. You can put your hand there, you won't even be able to see, like you can't see shit in murky water, right? Well, the Most High brings this level of clarity to you when you connect your source to his, okay? When you just don't utilize these third-party sources to have a connection with him. When you go in within yourself to understand you, right? Because that's how we find God, is we find ourselves. When we start going in to reflect and heal the things, the wounds, and go, like, he'll start laying these different, you know, seed, or these different, dropping the seeds for us to follow, right? To connect the dots for us to get this understanding of what the divine source or wants for us, because every individual has a different purpose, right? So it's like, that's what I don't like about religion, is they got this one standard way that this is you be a Christian, but God has a different purpose for each individual single one of us. So it's like, what God wants for you is not what God wants for me, is not what God wants for somebody else. So it's like, that's why we got to go in and find our own individual connection to the source, so he can give us our own personal divine downloads to what he really desires for our life. Because that is that is the real true success in life, right? When you really find your purpose, when you're not just going through the motions of the matrix. You see what I'm saying? And you're actually tapping in with what the Most High has, you know what I'm saying, for us.
Sometimes you'll come across clients who are actually surprised that they don't have to help out.
I know what I was trying to do.
Sure you guys couldn't get that? It's weighs 1,000 pounds.
There we go. But yeah, so with this, having this connection as well to source, it's a level of stability that nothing else can give you, okay? When you have this unwavering faith in the Most High, like, this is the most highest form of stability. Because when I tell you, like, in so many forms, right, of different experiences that I've had where I didn't feel like I was in a stable place or position or whatnot, and I was seeking for stability, it was always the connection that I had to the Most High that kept me in alignment, or kept me having like this level of faith that guided me out of those unstable situations and guided me towards stability. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, even though in the moment things didn't feel like I was stable, things didn't feel like they were going correctly, it always felt right to me that God was still walking with me and like moving me through that. Like, I had to go through that. Like, it was a divine reason while I was experiencing that. There's a level of stability in that nothing else that can provide, right? When you have this level of faith, because it's like, even in the most darkest situations, you know that God got something for you on the other side. So that gives you a reason to keep pushing forward, and you don't give up, and you don't get stagnant and stuck there in that low. You just keep pushing, because you're always seeking for more, because God is always going to move you out of the way when you're connected to him. He's always going to move you out of harm's way. And if you feel like you're in a situation where you are in the way of harm, you need to be very vigilant, very aware and observant of your circumstances, so you can learn what you're supposed to be getting out of that situation. And a lot of times it's something to show you that it's time for transformation. It's time for you to shift. This shit is not working for you. Why are you still dwelling in this energy? Why haven't you got up and changed your circumstances? Why don't you realize that you have the power to create your reality? Okay? You are the creator of your realm of existence. Okay, so it's like, if something ain't working out for you, then you got to get up and try something else. Move the fuck along. Okay, just go ahead and decide that, okay, if this ain't for me, then God, show me what is. Guide me and show me what is really for me, and allow those things to fall away to the wayside if need be. And don't try to hold on to the things that God is trying to remove from your life, okay? The Knight of Swords. Yeah, once you start asking the Most High to move, either remove things or to unblock or whatever. It's like whatever that is for you, right? Whatever those challenges are, and you start communicating with the Most High. He acts aggressively to go in and to be of assistance to you, right? It's just like you just still have to have this mustard seed. You still have to have this level of knowing and faith, because it doesn't always look like it in the moment. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always look like it in the moment. And so you have to understand that there's this thing called divine timing that comes into play. But it's always like you have to play that role too, and know when it's time for you to move out of situations when they're not good for you. Knowing when it's time to move on. Hey, PB, SPE, thank you so much for joining the live, love. And yeah, so you got to look at it. You got to know when it's time for you to walk away from the shit. Because here's the thing too. We'll be so loyal to motherfuckers that done backstabbed us, that done showed us that they're not trustworthy, that done showed us that they're not somebody that we can depend on. You know that fucking viral, it's a viral post when they're like, oh, you're talking to somebody, you're talking to your camera, and you're like, yeah, you can trust me, or some shit. It's like the person falls back and they'll be like, yeah, you should have trusted some, or I don't know, I can't remember exactly verbatim, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about. And this is those things where it's like you'll have people around you that it's like people will show you that they can't be trusted, and you'll still fall back like this, waiting for them to catch you, bitch. I mean, they didn't show you over and over again that bitch, they is not catching you when you fall. Okay. Hey, DZ Monet, thank you so much for joining the live, love. But yeah, so it's just like you have to know, it's like people keep showing you that they can't be trusted, and you still decide to hang around and stick around and continue to let them put the swords in your back. Well, then that's one of them situations where it's like you're going against your intuition. Okay, you're working against yourself, and it's like God gave us all free will. So it's like, how can I move you out of a situation? How can I protect you? Or how can I serve and dish this person their karma when you don't want to get the fuck out the way? You want to keep sitting up under this motherfucker knowing that they gonna backstab you. They're not to be trusted. They don't fuck with you the long way like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, now you're in a situation where really you make it hard for God to be able to come in and help you or give you assistance. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to recognize when it's time for us to walk a fucking way, okay? Like, thank you, Spirit. Like, yes, when it's time for you to walk away from those cups is empty. Baby, this is like when you realize people are not pouring into you like you are pouring into them. Okay? That's when you kindly don't worry about it. Okay, because I know what's for me is for me, and I know that what God has for me is out there. It's just not here. And so I'm going to go kindly walk away and go ahead and heal whatever matters of the heart that I have, okay? And prioritize the matters of the heart, okay? And then I will soon find what I seek, okay? But it's not here. It ain't here, baby. It ain't here. Okay? Yes, you have a newfound passion and newfound direction. Okay? When you start taking the leaps of faith to move forward, when you start walking away from things that are no longer serving you, and you start walking away from people that are no longer serving you, and then God starts to present the new opportunities, right? He starts to present the new people that are actually in alignment with you, that actually, right, they actually desire the same stability, right? This is a marriage card too, you know what I'm saying? So people that really are committed to your purpose, are committed to you, and they are committed to the journey that you want to walk that journey with you. You see what I'm saying? And that's what, you know, that's what we really desire, honestly, is like, because it's like everybody just trying to be accepted for real. But it's like when you trying to be accepted by the wrong folks, it's either going to make you alter who you really are, or you're just never going to be accepted. It's going to make you, you're never going to truly love yourself for who you really are, because you're constantly trying to appease other people that don't appreciate you for who you are. Hey, L Waits 30, thank you so much for joining the live, love. So yeah, what else, Spirit? Anything else? If not, okay, period. You're the magician. It's like when you're in this space when you are able to see things for what they really are, you know what I mean? It's like you're able to see through the optical illusions, right? You're able to see through the people trying to put a smoke and mirror, trying to put an illusion around you to deceive you from the truth, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's not only religion that is deceptive. You see what I'm saying? It's not only narcissists that are deceptive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the reality is that we have to expect that there's going to be someone out there to deceive us, because everybody was programmed that way. Everybody was conditioned that way when they grew up celebrating the holidays and let their mama tell them about Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and all of these things. It's like that was a conditioning mechanism for the youth, that we walk with that in our subliminal the rest of our lives. And if we don't go and heal it and deal with it, that is going to affect us subliminally for the rest of our lives. So yeah, now it's created all of these narcissists, these liars, these people who have adopted this behavior of saying like, oh, well, you know, a little lie never hurt nobody, you know what I'm saying? And then in the reality, lies, they do hurt people, because you don't allow people to make, right? You don't allow people to make decisions based on the truth. They're making decisions based on a lie. So then you're taking their free will to decide. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't like lies. Like, I'm going to be 100 all the time. And I don't care. It's like, if your feelings are hurt, then just don't ask me my opinion. Then it's like, but my thing is, I'm always going to try to come with, also, the energy is always going to be loving. The energy is always going to be, it's going to be led with, you know, I'm coming from a good place with my truth. I'm not just trying to tell the truth because, like, I know everything. Because I know people like that. Matter of fact, my grandmother, she's like that. My grandmother, literally, I grew up with her. She, every place she lived, she always had libraries full of books in her basement somewhere, right? But my grandmother, she got all this knowledge in her motherfucking head. And it's like, she definitely struggles with cognitive dissonance. And I'm just like, Grandma, like, you know all of this shit, but what are you doing with this wisdom? And how is it? It's like, it's made her sick. Because it's like, she's so much into like conspiracy theories and everything. And it's like, yeah, I'm into that too. But the way that I process it and the way that I, you know, utilize the information is different. You know, she just hoards the information so she can communicate with people, and she want to argue with you and act like she's the end all know all of information and you can't tell her nothing. You see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people like that in the world that just want to know stuff so they can appear to be smart. They want to know stuff so they can get the trust of others, so people can look at them like, oh, they're so smart. And then they just wave their own power to those people, and they realize that people do this, so they like use their knowledge for power instead of their knowledge to empower themselves, or use their knowledge to, you know, give love to others. You see what I'm saying? Hey, James Code 3164. So yes, y'all, we're going to utilize our truth and our wisdom for the betterment of others, and not to try to make it seem like we know everything and we're, you know, because I don't, when I'm spreading wisdom, I'm not coming from a place of like, yeah, and I know that, and I, you know what I'm saying? But there's some people that have that kind of energy, right? Where they're using their wisdom for the wrong things. You see what I'm saying? And so that's just not, I'm not a part of that club. You see what I'm saying? I just want to provoke thinking. I want people to process the thought and look into things and, you know what I'm saying, open their minds. Because people's minds just be so closed that they be quick to try to frown their little nose up at you when you're talking about something that isn't necessarily the status quo of information. And then they're questioning, looking at you like you weird or something, because it's just like, this is the type of shit we should be fucking conversing in the first place, not the bullshit that y'all want to talk about. You know, motherfuckers be wanting to just talk about nothing all day and talk about, you know, fucking the fairy tale world, and talk about, you know, what's on TV and what's happening on social media. You see what I'm saying? So what angels, what do we have for the angels? Angels, what messages do we have for the collective, brother? What messages do we have for the collective? What messages do we have for the collective, angels? What we got? What we got? What we got? All right. Kindness. Become the force, okay? Kindness is a power within you that can heal and unite. Ask the angel of kindness to help you practice. Hold on. Ask the angel of kindness to help you make kindness not something you sometimes practice, but central to your way of living and at the core of who you are. If you feel alone or if your relationships are filled with tension, allow the angel of kindness to open your heart and permeate everything you say and do. Kindness begins with kindness to yourself. Ditch self-criticism. Become your own biggest cheerleader and make self-care a priority. Remember, you need to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. This foundation of self-kindness will enable you to be kind to others, especially those who are alone. Kindness destroys barriers between people and builds bridges. Last but not least, last but by no means least, be kinder to nature, animals, and this beautiful world we live in. I love that, y'all. So yes, that is the messages from the angels. We were just talking about that, right? When we're kind to ourselves, we give ourselves grace. We go within to, you know, tap into that intuition that guides us to the direct source, okay? But also when we were talking about leading with truth, right? Like, we can still be truthful and still be kind. You know what I'm saying? We can still be truthful and still have a certain energy without, like, being offensive. But, you know, there's always going to be somebody offended by the truth. So it doesn't matter how kind you are. Don't, you know, regardless if people are offended or not, that's irrelevant. Like, the truth is going to be the truth. And that's what we're leading with all rest of 2024 and moving forward. Okay? 2025 and above. You see what I'm saying? It's like, this is the era of the truth. The era is that time now, okay? So embrace it. Because anybody who is trying to deny it, baby, this is not going to be, it's going to be a hard time for you. Okay? It's going to be a hard time for you because that's just the era that we're in. So you got to transform or get stuck in the last timeline, okay? But anyway, y'all, I want to thank y'all so much for being a part of this live. And I want you guys to tap in to my take a look at the bio, the link in the bio. I have my Goddess Gang journals, and I also have my third eye, or I keep saying third eye, but it's like evil eye protection, and I have those journals available on Amazon, and also KDP, I guess it's the same thing. And then my YouTube and my TikTok is Vibe Priestess Tarot. Okay. So I want to send you guys so much love. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the live. And I will catch y'all on the next live. Mwah and mwah.